What's funny to me is when Jalen Hurts completes that long pass to Devontae Smith, and he goes down at the 1 yard line. It's like everybody in the stadium, including Kansas City, knew, they're going to score right now. Because it's like they have the most unstoppable play in football. Like, okay, we're just, we got first and goal from the 1 or the 2 yard line. Yeah, no problem. We're just going to push everybody in, and we're going to score, and then we're going to take the lead. And now it's on the offense to go down and get it together. Kelsey had a drop on the final drive. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had that drop, which would have been the go-ahead touchdown late on that final drive for Kansas City. And so Patrick Mahomes afterwards was not only asked about just the performance by himself and his teammates following the loss, but also if he had any regrets about throwing to Marquez Valdes-Scantling in that spot.
I have no regret. They triple-teamed Travis, so I went to the guy that won downfield, and Marquez won. Just didn't come away with the ball. I could probably throw a little bit shorter. He was that open. So, you just got to continue to try to get better and better. Defense is keeping us in games, and if we can find a way to just get a little bit better as an offense, we're going to win a lot of these games.
I'll take my chances with, if Mahomes could just figure it out and the offense could figure it out, they're going to be okay. I'll take my chances, as opposed to defense is suspect and we got to rely on the offense to score 40 a game. I totally agree. I think they're going to be fine. Everything's fine in Kansas City.
I think if you look at their schedule too the rest of the way, they go 2 Las Vegas and 2 Green Bay in back-to-back weeks. Won't be easy, but I think those are both winnable games for them. They host Buffalo in Week 14, then at New England, Las Vegas against Cincinnati, who's Joe Burrow-less, and then to the Los Angeles Chargers, which, depending on how that looks, it's a tough roster, but they might not have their head coach the way things are going.
Call them rechargers.
It's
they on the blink. They need to be plugged in.
With that schedule, they might lose one more game
maybe
the rest of the way?
Yeah, Buffalo, I think, is the toughest game.
So 13-4.
Vegas is a trap game, though. The Raiders always play them tough.
But
they do.
But coming off this loss, if I'm the Raiders, this is a nightmare scenario.
I feel bad.
Yeah,
I feel bad. Feel bad. But
that's a problem.
That's what team we get to the playoffs. What AFC team do you see knocking off the Chiefs? That's
honestly,
what I ask myself.
I really do think it is Baltimore.
Yeah,
I think Baltimore plays
that
style between their defense, their offense. If they can actually make some plays, it's tough to see what they're going to be without Mark Andrews. He's such a key piece of that offense. But the way they can run the football and Lamar can create, and the way they've thrown down the field, that's a team that I'm really hoping we get to see in the playoffs.
They just have been such a disappointment in the playoffs to me.
I know.
This
feels different.
Does it feel different?
It feels different this year.
All right. I'm gonna take your word at it, because if not Baltimore, that is the team that finally steps up and it feels different in the playoffs, then okay, that's a good matchup. I can't come up with another team. I think of it as Baltimore should, on paper, be the team. I had them going to the Super Bowl last season.
Jacksonville feels like a tease.
I don't feel like Jacksonville can do it.
Miami.
I don't feel like Miami can do it.
Yeah, I
just don't think they can stand up to
Cleveland's
them.
got a backup quarterback.
I don't think their offense can stand up to it.
The Texans?
I don't feel like the Texans can do it.
I don't know that they're ready for that.
See, the point, here's what I'm saying. We could be correct on one of those teams. That's how the NFL works. That's the beauty of the National Football League. A team could emerge. We could be like, oh, here we go. Here's the start of a dynasty with the Texans. Or here we go. Here's the start of it for Jacksonville. That could happen. Hell, we could be like Buffalo woke up. The sleeping bison woke up and started herding, starting moving across the wild land. We don't really know. I'm just saying, at a look at it from a critical eye, where we're at right now and what we know, I would say Baltimore is the only team, and I wouldn't even be confident in saying that in the playoffs against Kansas City. I wouldn't be confident.
Do Buffalo make sound?
Yes.
With their mouth?
Yeah. Yes.
What does it sound like?
I want to say it's like oh, something like that, something to that effect. I think.
What do you?
It's almost like a bull. They sound like a bull.
Okay, it wasn't.
Can I list off some teams and you guys tell me if there's anyone else I'm missing that's playing for a Super Bowl? Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, 49ers, Lions, Cowboys. Like, is it those 6 teams?
Yeah, we're good with that right there. Thank you.
So then we're saying the NFC is better than the AFC right now.
I think the NFC is more competitive. I think there's more threats.
You know, we said the AFC was way more competitive than the NFC all year.
I actually don't think there's more competition. I think there's just 4 teams that are potentially in the running for it. Because after that, it's kind of like, I don't know if anyone has a legit shot. Like, the issue with the AFC is there's so many injured quarterbacks.
If somebody gave you the option, you can bet on this or the field. You can bet on the conference championship games being Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, or the field. What are you taking?
Oh, I'm taking those bets. I don't want the field.
Yeah.
I just think that the Eagles have shown you that their way of winning is pronounced. It's not a fluke. They win the same way. That's why, to me, it just seems like it's a simple they would have to be had. And I don't the only team I think that could possibly get through the 49ers. They're the only ones that could get through the Eagles. That's it. Call it a wrap. But the rest of them, I don't believe Dallas can stand up to the Eagles. I do not. I don't think that there's any other team in the NFC that could stand up to the Eagles because the way they play, they are so physical. And the only other team that I can think of that would have enough talent, and I'm not so sure that Purdy can stand up against that Eagles defense in a playoff game for the entire game. I would love to see the rematch.
We're going to find out in 2 weeks.
Well, they knocked his ass right on out of there.
Week 14, though. Week 14, that's where you got Kansas City, Buffalo, and you've got the Eagles taking on the Cowboys.
Yeah. By the way, Philly's,
I would love that's going to be a good week.
Philly's upcoming schedule is not easy. I mean, they've got Buffalo, then they've got the Niners. They're at Dallas. They're at Seattle.
But I will say Dallas has looked good, though. They have looked good. And that game of them playing the Eagles, that should be a legit preview of which team is the best team in the NFC. Outside of the 49ers, you'll get a tall tale of what the tape will be. How does Dallas match up? Does that secondary still look as good? Does that defense still look as good? Dan Quinn's defense, do they still look as good against the type of offense that Philly is? And keep in mind, Jalen Hurts is still trying to get back to 100%. He looked better last night, but not. You can tell he's not all the way there. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the rest of the season, and it's not a full speed Jalen Hurts, but I would assume each week that goes by, he's going to feel better and better with that knee, and he's going to speed up a little bit more just based off of the health. If that is the case, then that's a different Philly team because that's still an element that's missing for this team. He's not moving quite as deliberate and as fast as he would if he's a healthy Jalen Hurts. So I think that'll be a big test. That's going to be a major indicator if you ask me. You look at the Dallas the way they're playing right now and the balance that they have. I would have never thought I'd say that, but it will, to me, dictate if I look at them as a true contender heading into the playoffs.
It's good to have you on board.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy. I'm not a bandwagon dude. I'm a Micah Parsons dude, so I really pull for him.
Oh, Micah.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to root for them on many different levels.
Yeah,
but taking the personal out of it, I think they look pretty competitive.